The purpose of this video is to share what was revealed to me during a private phone conversation with Marcus, who happens to be the owner of the Atlanta Street Interviews YouTube channel. What I'm about to say is the honest to God truth. I stand on every word, no backpedaling, no second guessing, and if it ever came down to it, I would have absolutely no problem taking a lie detector test administered by law enforcement to prove I'm not lying. Are you ready? Let's go. Marcus Sparris is the unapologetic force behind Atlanta Street Interviews, the wildly popular YouTube channel that dives headfirst into the gritty underworld of Atlanta's streets. With a camera, a mic, and zero filter, he exposes the raw truths of homelessness, addiction, and life on society's edge. The stories are intense, emotional, and often vulnerable, told by people who are bearing their souls, sometimes apprehensively, in hopes of being heard without judgment. But behind every heartbreaking story that these individuals tell lies a sobering reality. Most of the people featured wouldn't dream of going on camera to spill their guts if they weren't desperate for the $10 they're promised to be given at the end of the interview. It's a painful transaction. $10 for a piece of their trauma, served to an audience hungry for raw content. Whether what Marcus is doing is exposure or exploitation truly depends on who's watching. In this video, you'll not only discover how I got wrapped up in covering stories on Atlanta Street Interviews, but you'll also be introduced to some of Marcus's most shocking and controversial figures. People who once bared their souls on camera and are now coming forward accusing Marcus of exploiting their suffering. What seemed like a platform for raw, unfiltered stories has taken a darker turn, with former interviewees claiming they were manipulated and used for sex, clicks, and views. The truth is unraveling, and it's far more disturbing than you might think. According to the LinkedIn website, Marcus Sparris was born in June 1983 in Decatur, Georgia, making him 41 years old at the time of this video. He graduated from Georgia State University, worked as an insurance agent, and moonlights as a competitive bodybuilder. He has an ex-partner with whom he shares 2 daughters. In 2022, Marcus launched what would become the controversial YouTube channel Atlanta Street Interviews, a platform that promised raw, unfiltered stories, but has since been accused of something far more sinister. By 2023, the whispers turned into a firestorm. Psychology Eats, a blunt and unapologetically bold content creator, started dropping bombshell videos calling out what she saw as outright exploitation on Marcus's channel. She didn't hold back.
Marcus, you were trying to get the panel to agree that I know I've done some bad things, and I know I've done some things that might be seen to be inappropriate. But what about the good stuff that I do? What about that? Why don't y'all ever talk about the kid that I helped go to college? Why don't y'all ever talk about that? Boy, because your bad outweighs any good that you could have done. You sound dumb as shit. Everybody that's sitting up in prison right now, everybody that's ever done a bad thing, they can tell you something good they did.
And she definitely wasn't alone in terms of how she was feeling. Another YouTube channel by the name of Celebrity News Reports and a YouTuber from Atlanta named ATV Bond quickly joined the takedown. ATV Bond even confronted Marcus in person, forcing him to flee to the other side of the street like a man with something to hide. Curious and a little suspicious, I then visited the Atlanta Street Interviews YouTube channel to see what was really up. And that's when I stumbled upon a video featuring a young man named Josias, whose intellectual challenges didn't stop him from putting on a show filled with talent, unpredictability, and controversy. But then the YouTube algorithm suggested something even more chilling, a video featuring a girl named Monique. Monique was a 28-year-old homeless woman who was battling mental health issues. She says that she was standing in line trying to receive an Obama phone when Marcus approached her and asked if she would be willing to do an interview for his channel. She agreed, but what she said happened next is quite disturbing. Monique said that immediately after the camera stopped rolling, Marcus asked her how much she would charge for sex.
And he said, can he get a redo because he orgasm in 2 minutes, like I was explaining in the video. So as soon as I put my clothes in the wash, he told me to take a shower in his daughter's bathroom. After I take a shower, he tells me to take an edible. But after I take the edible, then he says I'm going to be asleep for 3 days. So, you know, I'm from California and I took edibles. I don't get high like that. But this edible he gave me.
He said, wait a minute, I'm from California too. You know, we already know that. So he told you that whatever edible you're going to take will have you sleep for 3 days?
After I already took it.
The allegations didn't stop there. She made a series of wild, jaw-dropping claims. So I invited her on my channel to speak her truth, and she held nothing back. In our interview, Monique said that she and Marcus began having sex shortly after their first meeting, but that he finished in under a minute. Embarrassed, he allegedly asked for a redo, claiming he didn't get his money's worth. She went on to say that Marcus invited her to live with him under one condition. She had to agree to have sex with him whenever he wanted it. Their encounter only lasted like a day and a half to 2 days. Monique said things were going well until Marcus tried to encourage her to get high off an edible before they got ready to have sex again. Monique says that it wasn't until after she ate the edible that Marcus told her that she was going to be asleep for 3 days. Monique claims that after consuming the edible, she passed out. When she woke up in the middle of the night, her clothes were packed and Marcus told her she had to leave. She says he also never paid her for sex, despite their prior arrangement. That interview with Monique was the first I ever conducted for my channel. I overtalked her, partly out of nerves and partly to clarify her shocking claims. Since then, I've learned to listen more and speak less. Even after hearing Monique's story, I wasn't ready to draw conclusions. Still, her interview became my most watched video at that time. Since then, I've had a video perform 4 times as better, and the one that performed better had nothing to do with Atlanta Street Interviews. But because Monique's story sparked so much interest, I knew I had to go deeper. That's when I reached out to the parents of one of Atlanta Street Interviews' most memorable interviewees, Josias. I spoke to both of Josias' parents multiple times. I spoke to his mother Alice and his father James, and what they shared was just as damning as what Monique shared.
Oh, you're out there to get views, out there to get your dick sucked, excuse me. Yeah, stop playing with me. You out there to get a lot. You're not out there just to interview the homeless and interview people with mental problems and to get a story. You're out there to also get your fix when you need it.
Alice was furious. She told me that Marcus had filmed her while she was crying without her knowledge. Alice accused Marcus of exploiting her son to grow his platform. Josias' father James had a more complicated view. James appreciated some of the small things that Marcus did for Josias. James just felt like some of the questions that he was asking Josias during interviews were inappropriate and problematic, specifically when it came to James's longtime girlfriend, Ebony. During some of the interviews, Marcus would press Josias for details about just sexual stuff pertaining to his stepmother. And James told me that that caused a lot of problems within his household. And honestly, that was the main reason why Josias could no longer come and live with Ebony and James, because of those inappropriate sexual conversations pertaining to Josias' stepmother, Ebony. After having conversations with Monique, as well as Josias' parents, Alice and James, another interviewee from Atlanta Street Interviews reached out to me. This time it was Monquil. Monquil emailed me and he asked if he could come on my channel to share his story. Again, some people think that I'm against Marcus, but I've never had anything personal against Marcus. Even during my interview with Monquil, Monquil started out the interview wanting to talk smack about Marcus, and I quickly shut it down.
Get at the part about Marcus first. Everybody saying that I'm beefing with him and stuff like that. Okay, but for one, I don't never mention Marcus on my live unless somebody come in my live talking about him and they ask me questions about the man and they ask me, why did you do this in the interview? Why did you do him like that in the interview? And I go to telling them and they'll run back and tell him what I said.
Fuck that. How you end up on Atlanta Street Interviews YouTube channel? We ain't about to do all that.
Okay.
With that being said, I can't control another grown man. And halfway through the interview, Monquel brought Marcus up again. He just wanted to get it off his chest. And some of the things that Monquel accused Marcus of were just downright creepy.
I don't know what's in his mind for him to ask everybody, ask me that freaky shit. Like, I don't know where that be coming from. I think he wanted me to be like, yeah, man, she got some good ass pussy, her pussy pink, it get wet quick. He like to know that stuff, bro. That's the stuff he want to know. He want to know how it was, like just like with the render. When we get to that, it's stuff that he wanted to know. He want to know these things. He like to talk about it. That's what he want to talk about. He don't want to really hear what you had going on with it. He want to know about the freaky part.
At the time, Monquel was a 30-year-old ex-con who had just been released after serving over a decade behind bars for a string of home burglaries. During our interview, he said he believed Marcus was secretly sleeping with his ex-girlfriend, a young woman named Ruby, the same Ruby who had once stabbed Monquel in the stomach. What made things even weirder, according to Monquel, was that Marcus had allegedly pressed him for intimate details, asking just how good the sex was between him and Ruby. But it didn't stop there. Monquel also claimed that Marcus seemed unusually fixated on his past sexual encounters, even asking him for explicit details about an older woman named Dorinda that he had once slept with. The questions weren't just offbeat, they felt invasive and predatory. Shortly after my interview with Monquel, Marcus featured an amputee on his channel by the name of Solid Sunny.
First thing I did was look down. I didn't have no blanket on, no nothing. My legs was gone. Legs gone.
At the time, Sunny was a 28-year-old former stripper whose life had taken a tragic turn after she was involved in a high-speed crash while driving home from the strip club, drunk and high. Solid Sunny was left with both of her legs amputated, but the injuries didn't stop there. She has only one functioning arm while the other appears to be withering away. She even told viewers that her anus had been surgically sewn shut, forcing her to live out the remainder of her days with a colostomy bag attached to her stomach and a catheter inserted into her vagina. What happened next pushed boundaries most people didn't even see coming. After interviewing her in her home, Marcus took Sunny out on a date. And according to Sunny, they had unprotected intercourse while she was menstruating and the catheter was still inserted inside of her. The story didn't stop there. Marcus then whisked Sunny off to St. Croix, seemingly to generate views. But the twist? Sunny later revealed she had to use her own SSI disability check to pay for her trip. At first, the internet rallied around her, expressing a lot of sympathy. But as her YouTube presence grew, a darker picture emerged. Audiences began to see another side of Solid Sunny, one where she cursed out her 5- and 6-year-old daughters on live streams like they were grown women, neglected personal hygiene, and indulged in some of the most outrageous behavior on YouTube. After doing some digging, I found out that the accident didn't turn Sunny into the person that she currently is. She had a wild, chaotic lifestyle long before the car crash. She was stripping, prostituting, and fighting, and that was just the norm for her. After my content involving Atlanta Street Interviews began pulling serious numbers, it didn't go unnoticed. Suddenly, other creators started hopping on the bandwagon. A content creator by the name of Kiki Prime started tagging me in posts. Now, most of the posts were in reference to a 19-year-old girl named Layla. Now, Layla is also known as Lolly. So whenever you hear someone speaking about Layla or Lolly on Atlanta Street Interviews, they are actually referencing the same person. Now, Lolly was a young lady who appeared on the Atlanta Street Interviews YouTube channel. Lolly came out and she accused Marcus of pressuring her into acting like a little girl during intercourse. I then brought Kiki Prime onto my channel, not once, but twice. And that's when a young lady by the name of Yana entered the picture. Yana reached out to Kiki, sharing that Marcus had moved her into his apartment, got her pregnant, and then get this, made her hide in the closet whenever his 2 daughters came over for the weekend. According to Yana, Marcus gaslit her into terminating the pregnancy, telling her how hard life would be as a single mom. He promised her a couple of $1,000s to return to Chicago and start fresh if she got the abortion, and Yana reluctantly went through with it. She then flew back to Chicago, and Marcus, he reneged on the promise. He did not give her any money to start fresh. Yana now runs a YouTube channel where she documents her experience with Marcus, highlighting how he manipulated her and then left her high and dry. Around this time, I was on the phone with Solid Sunny when she insisted on calling Marcus on three-way. I agreed, and then she dialed him up.
My man don't got a problem with you. He don't. I swear to God. Benji, when I talked to him, he said he wants you to work. He want to work with you.
The conversation lasted maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Marcus and I exchanged contact information, and that was that. But by then, Marcus's image was in shambles. The views were drying up, and so was the money. So he then reached out to me for help.
Marcus, the B sector that he got going on, that he wanted you to help him with that. He wanted you to put a twist on.
He wanted PR. I told him point blank, stop sleeping with women that you bring on your channel. Why would you record an interview with a woman that you're interested in sleeping with so that she can come back and blast you when things don't go right? Like, why would you do that? And baby, that's when Marcus turned into Charlie Wilson. Oh yes, he dropped a bomb on me. Yes. Guess what this nigga told me? Marcus admitted that sometimes when he sees the woman he wants to sleep with, he fakes doing an interview, pretending the camera is rolling when it's not. He gets what he wants and the footage never airs. No receipts, no paper trail. The audience never sees her, so if she ever speaks out, her credibility is instantly questioned. So he had already been doing this. There are plenty of women who thought that they were going to be interviewed, and he's like fake recording them or pretending like he's recording them, and he sleeps with them, and there's no interview because he was never recording to begin with. That is what he admitted to me. And that's the moment I realized just how deep shit was. And check this out. He is so narcissistic and cocky that he later turned on me after revealing this information to me. So he just knew that I wasn't going to tell, or he either felt like people were not going to believe me, because after my last interview with Sonny, Marcus had Sonny attack me. I could already tell that someone had been in Sonny's ear, because Sonny behind the scenes kept on telling me things like, yeah, no matter what they say about you, what I heard about you. And I'm sitting up here thinking, well, I don't know anybody on YouTube, so what could you have possibly heard about me? I'm trying to think, like, who's telling you something about me besides Marcus? Like, I don't know who else who could be talking about. The only reason that he would have a problem with me is because I allowed Monique to come on my platform to tell her story, and I also allowed Josiah's mother, Alice, to come on my platform. So I guess even though he and I had been like chopping it up, we had like 3 or 4 great conversations on the phone, he was still harboring some type of resentment towards me. And during that time, Solid Sunny was just head over heels for Marcus. So there's really nothing that she would not have done for him. So what happened was I did 3 interviews with Solid Sunny. During the 3rd interview, I ended up asking Sunny a question that I knew was going to trigger her. I asked her, was she a mammy? And the reason I asked Sunny that question is because behind the scenes, even though, Sunny and I were cool and I was trying to be there for her, just trying to, be supportive of her, Sunny kept being very disrespectful to me behind the scenes, calling me she, girl, stuff like that. And I'm like, Sunny, I don't like that shit. I don't care what you think I am. I don't care if you think that I'm gay or whatever it is. I was born a man. Call me he. Don't call me she. Don't call me sis. Don't call me that bullshit. And Sunny kept doing it. She's very disrespectful. So I said, okay, this is how you gonna do. So during the 3rd interview, I was ready for her. So Sunny, there's been a lot of talk on YouTube, and this word has been coming up over and over. And the word is mammy. Are you a mammy? And so after that, Sonny went live and cursed me out. Sonny also revealed that during that third interview, that Marcus was on the phone with her while we were doing the interview recording. So it was all a setup.
But girl, you done messed up now. Now I done told you, don't bother with Benji. When he nice, he's wonderful. But when he mean, he mean. When he mean, he mean. And he gonna be mean. Which side of the camera? I don't know, y'all. Maybe it's over there or over there. When he mean, he mean. Benji, I want you to stop. Now you I don't even know what she said about Benji, but whatever it was, his ass done woke up late last night and early this morning.
So he was using Sonny as his pawn. And I think that now she has come to realize that. And, it's just sad. She was played. That's what it was. He played her. Sonny called me some of the most disrespectful names that you can call a person when I really didn't do anything to her. This was all her doing. And Marcus felt as though I should just give her a pass. I really don't think that Marcus felt that way. I felt like Marcus just wanted a reason to have a problem with me. So what he did was he went live and he called me a bitch. Oh, he was trying to emasculate me. And I'm like, you little 5'3" nigga with your Napoleon complex. You can't tell me a fuck ass thing about how to be a man, first of all. Like, that's a joke. You can't tell this 6'2", 180-pound man how to be a man. I don't give a fuck how masculine you think you is. And so that was a joke. But yeah, he went live calling me a bitch, just doing the most. And I told him, no, I'm not the bitch. Your cotton head ass mammy is the bitch. And that was that. And we haven't had any communication ever since. I'm no spring chicken. So I learned a long time ago that sometimes you don't actually have to do something to a person for them to not like you. Some people just not going to like you because they don't like you. And I'm okay with that. Because I never went hard at Marcus like some other content creators was going at him. Psychology Eats, she's relentless. Kiki was relentless. ACB Vaughn had that nigga running. And now they're cool again. So, yeah. Although I will say, during an interview with ATV Bond, Marcus definitely tried to shade ATV Bond. He was like, I bet you was like the tall, lanky type when you was growing up. I was sitting there thinking, this little dried up raisin is really hating on this man. Because Marcus, I don't care about you bodybuilding or none of that. You don't look better than ATV Vaughn and you can't stand next to him. And that's just what it is. Now, I will say that Marcus does have something about him that draws people to him. And I believe it's that confidence or that cockiness. Because some people, they love that. They love cocky people. And I think that that is what the fascination is with Marcus. Some content creators literally worship him, and it's quite sickening. In particular, there's one woman who leads the pack. I won't say her name because she's never come for me personally. But if you're looking for her, just check up Marcus's ass because that's where she stays. And before y'all go speculating, no, I'm not talking about Chase Dolt. I actually like Chase. I like her style. I like the way she gets down. So I'm definitely not referring to Chase. And if what I said doesn't apply to whoever's listening, just let it fly. But what's so cringy about the content creator that I'm referring to is that Marcus has kind of made it clear that he's not interested. And she just, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. The last scandal tied to Marcus involved a homeless ex-porn star with 2 children named Wes Indy. After making a few appearances on his channel, she took to YouTube to reveal that she had to take medication after Marcus gave her bacterial vaginosis, allegedly from performing oral sex on her. According to Wes Indy, there was bacteria in Marcus's mouth that led to the infection, and she needed antibiotics to clear it up. Considering that everyone who has ever claimed to sleep with Marcus says it was unprotected, her story came as a surprise to absolutely no one. Now let's be real. Sex is a natural part of life. That's not the issue here. The real problem people have with Marcus is his pattern of exploiting vulnerable people, folks who are already down on their luck just trying to survive. Atlanta Street Interviews is registered as a nonprofit, which means Marcus doesn't pay taxes. And when he does do something charitable, it's rarely coming out of his own pocket, unless, of course, it's a move that will benefit him in the long run. Thanks for watching the video and feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Until the next video, love on your friends, your family members, and remain safe. And with that being said, I'm out.